Hey guys, LadyLibertyStacker. It is May 15th, 2021, and I'm finally back with another video. It's been a while. I realized that. I kind of took a break. I had a lot going on in my personal life, and I was also trying to rebuild my online store. Had a lot of sales over Christmas, was real busy in January and February, and then all of a sudden things kind of dropped off, and I thought, oh, well, it's because I haven't been posting as many new listings. So I've been working on that, trying to figure out what my niches were going to be. Cast iron can be a lot of fun, but I had realized I was getting into things that were a lot of work, weren't as much fun. Like Dutch ovens, for example. Dutch ovens are a lot of work. 8-slice cornbread pans are a lot of work. These are what you're looking at now are new pickups that I just kind of happened upon the other day. But I thought to myself, I don't want to do this anymore if it's just this time consuming and hard work, because some of the stuff takes a lot of time to restore, and sometimes it's not as much profit in some of those items as it's worth my time. So I'm trying to scale my business, but still keep it interesting and kind of scale it where I can still do what I want, but do more like items, so it's easier. I can get things out quicker. If for people like you guys that want, skillets like number 5s, and these are 7s or 8s or 9s, I'm not sure yet. But things that you guys are looking for, I can get out more quickly if I kind of stick to similar type of items. There's all kinds of cast iron, trust me. But if I just do a one-off of this and that, unless I find an extremely valuable piece, I'm going to stick with the things that I can do proficiently, quickly, and easy to pack, and that kind of thing. So, but anyway, without further ado, I was on Facebook the other day, and there was a post from a member of my local eBay meetup group, and they had posted a picture of a ton of cast iron strewn across the yard. And one of the guys in the group mentioned me, and I saw the post, and I said, oh my gosh, I have to message this person. So it was this past Thursday, 2 days ago. I messaged her and said, do you still have any of this stuff left? She said, yes. And I said, okay then. I said, I will be down. I had to, get dressed, and I grabbed my husband to come along with me, and I ended up with 10 skillets, or 11 skillets actually, 11 skillets and another, including one unusual valuable piece. And for those of you that are collectors, you might know which one I'm talking about. So anyway, without further ado, we will get to what I picked up in just a moment. But I basically wanted to get things that were similar. Again, that's easier for me to pack and ship. I certainly don't need any new things from my collection. I've already got anywhere from 25 to 30 skillets, which for a lot of cast iron collectors, that's very, very tiny. Very, very tiny. For me, I don't have room for any more. And so I probably sell a lot more than I actually ever keep. So these are going to be eventually for resale, and I'll go over all of them with you. And we'll go ahead and get started now. The first stack that we're looking at is these are all about number 5s. They're very simple to do. These were actually in fairly decent condition. I got all of these pieces at $10 each. And this is similar to what you might find in an antique mall. Some of them are a little dirtier, some of them are a little cruddier, but and again, I think they're free of cracks, so we'll see. But that's a chance you take when you pay $10 and I got 11 pieces. So here we go. This is the first one. It's a number 5, and it's a bit cruddy, but it definitely you can see the sidewall there and the little edging on the sidewall. It's most likely a Wagner. You can tell from the handle here, and I think that's an I or something there, but that appears to be a Wagner. Whether it's marked or not, I don't know. But these restored will sell for about $39-40 at the top of the range, and for $10, and they're easy to do. Why not? So that's, and then it appears to sit flat, doesn't move much. Moves maybe a little bit. A little bit was hard to test it out there. I had a ruler. The next one is another number 5, and it's got It seems to be rather flat. This one has a heat ring, so it looks a little older. It's also a number 5. And I don't know if it's a Chicago foundry. I don't think so. It might be an old Wagner. With this handle here, it's hard to say. It's probably not a Griswold. I don't see anything up here that indicate it would being that. If it were a Vollrath, the 5 would be on its side right in this area here. But it's definitely a very old skillet with the heat ring, and I find these extremely interesting, and collectors do too. So we'll go ahead and set it over here. Again, it sits relatively flat, doesn't move. So we'll go ahead and put that down. Next up is a number 5. This one is a 3-notch lodge. Has a little rust going on here. I can get that off really easy. It's an older one. The newer ones are made in the 60s and 70s, have made in the USA. I've got one in my store right now. This is made in the USA. These were back in the 1950s. They're a little bit more valuable for collectors. And I got the kitty cat. He likes to disobey me. And he sees the... I got these spray bottles today at the dollar store, along with my pool noodles that I use to pack these up. And I figure that's the easiest way to keep him off the counters, because he will try it. He's a adolescent or a teenager kitten. He's like 2.5, and there he is. Whoops. There he is, trying to spy on me. Aren't you? Look at him. Anyway, sorry for the distraction, guys. But he tries to push the envelope and tries to get away with murder. So those water bottles work quite well. All right, back to the number 5s. This is another one, a slightly better shape, a 3-notch lodge, number 5, in the 1950s. And again, it sits flat, a relatively little movement. And here is another one, not sure what this is. Oh, this is a cool pin. I'm not sure what this is. This is, again, I gotta clean it. I don't think there's any markings on it, but it's got a nice external heat ring. It might be similar to what the other pan is. It is really, really nice. Really nice. I love it. And collectors like these old ones with heat rings. So I gotta look it up. I'll have a better idea once I get it stripped. But those are the number 5s, 5 of them. They're gonna be relatively easy to... I can throw these in the oven all at the same time with one of those or one of these. So the other thing about keeping in mind smaller pieces, I can do many more at one time, making better use of my oven, because it is wear and tear in your oven when you do this. All right, so that's that. Okay, next up, guys, is a griddle. This is an unmarked Wagner, and we'll flip it over in the back where I'll show you, but it's pretty much identical to the one I have. It's got the nice milled finish here, which you'll see better once I've stripped it. It's larger than a lot of the griddles out there, which is one reason why I have this one myself. It's 11.25-inch skillet, made in the USA, so this is an unmarked Wagner. I don't see anything there. I don't indicate that it's marked. We'll see after I strip it, but I don't see anything. It's in relatively good condition. It sits flat, relatively flat on the surface. Not much movement at all. It's going to be a great one. So I don't mind these either. They're super easy to do. They're fun to do. And again, the packing will be similar in similar size skillets. And I just trying to make it worth my while. Of course, they need to be profitable pieces. And once they're 8 and up, as far as the size, will contribute to the profitability. And then the unusualness, the rarity continues or contributes to the profitability on them as well. Okay, next up here is a number 8. It's got the small pour handles, and I look at these, and that looks like a BS&R, Birmingham Stove and Range out of Alabama. We're going to flip it over. It's got some cruddy, but this usually comes off real good. A lot of times this will preserve the pan quite well, but you can recognize the handle. The 2-tiered dimensional teardrop handle, and the ridge that goes right into the sidewall, and the inset heat ring, and the small pour spouts. That will indicate that it's a BS&R, and this one here looks like it was possibly, I mean, it depends on how the markings are. It either is a Red Mountain or a Century Series. Century Series was made later. Century Series was made later. This one's flat, very little movement. And we'll take a look at this one. This one seems to be a little lighter. And this one has a marking on it that's a little bit more uniform. It is a number 8, 10.5 inch. And again, we'll go ahead and put it down. You can see the handle is a dead giveaway. And because this one has markings on it, it's a little bit later. This is probably a transition piece from Red Mountain into Century Series, and still has quite a nice value to it once it's completely restored. It's more reasonable than even a Wagner or a Griswold for sure, but it's a nice cooker. Great. This one's a little bit heavier, more substantial, and that's why these tend to warp less. And they're flatter, and they're good cookers. Okay, moving right along, we have this one. Now, without looking, it's an 8. It's got well-developed pour spouts. It could be a Griswold. I didn't think it was a Griswold because she didn't mention it in her ad. We flip it over. It's a marked Wagner ware. It's also a number 8. The model is 10058, and that's what Wagner used. And this one here, we'll go ahead and... Okay, it does move a little, but if you push the handle, it does not spin all the way around, so that's good. A little movement's all right, as long as you disclose it in your listing if you are selling it, as long as it's usable. Next one is a number 9. It's unmarked. It kind of looks like a cake pan, doesn't it? With the sidewalls. It's not like they make nowadays. If you flip it over, you see the big, thick edging around the sidewalls. Flat bottom. It's gate marked. Gate marked means it was made in the late 1800s, the late 19th century. So this is an antique. I couldn't find any cracks in it. It's very light, and again, it's very flat. This is super. I grabbed it at $10 a piece for all of these. Excuse me, guys. It is. That was a steal. And again, I don't know who made this, but the lady tried to season it, and you see all the pooled seasoning there. It's because she didn't wipe it off when she was gradually warming up the skillet after the seasoning was applied. You have to wipe it off at a gradual stage during your seasoning process, otherwise you'll get that. And so that's going to be gone when I'm done with it. But this is an antique. And one thing I like to point out about these, a lot of these types of pans made in the 1800s, they have sulfur pitting on these because the fuel that they used at that time had sulfur. So as I was saying, my camera cut off. A lot of the skillets and griddles made in the late 1800s, many of them had the sulfur pitting on the bottom from the fuels they used at the time. This one does not, which I think is wonderful. It's just nice and flat. So when I saw that, I had to grab it and just take my chances on the restoration. I'll put all these in Liebath. But she says, oh, and when I had picked all these guys out, she goes, why don't you look over there? I have more things over there. And I found the griddle over there. And there's 2 other griddles, and they spun a lot, so I didn't pick those up. And they were on a table, so I could kind of test them. This one here is a corn stick pan. I swear I would not buy any more muffin pans, corn stick pans, or anything like that. But this little guy is a BS&R. It is called a Handy Dan. And this one is extremely rare. It's not real old. I think it was made in the 60s or 70s. But it was close to when the company went out of business, so they didn't make that many of these. It's a model 74H. It has made in the USA, and the legitimate ones will have the dots below the letters there. This is a Handy Dan BS&R cornstick, or cornstick bread pan, or cornbread pan, whatever you want to call them. These are very, very rare. They sell for $129 plus shipping on eBay. And there's 2 recent sales, and this one is a nice specimen. So I was thrilled to pick this up for 10 bucks. So, you know, I'll use my my little spongies, triangular spongies to do this, and my pastry brush. Won't be too bad to do. I didn't have those tools when I first did my cornbread pans, which I have a couple in my collection. But the reason why collectors like this one so much, not only are they rare, but it has a nice handle on it, where all the other ones you pick up by the side. There's like a side, I don't even know if there's a side handle on those without looking, but you had to pick them up by the pan itself instead of using the handle. So that's kind of neat. Anyway, that rounds out my pickups. I was going to bid on a collection of 4 skillets that I would have had to have picked up today an hour away. This happened to be an hour away too. So you always take a chance when you go out and buy something. But I had one picture. They verified that they were in good condition, that they didn't spin, but you really couldn't see what you were buying. You couldn't see the markings, you couldn't see the underside. 2 of them were Wagner's. One was a griddle like that, and another one was a larger Wagner, maybe a number 10, and then the 2 smaller ones were Griswold's. And they went for, I don't remember what they went for, but they were up to $40 or $50 by the time I looked at them. And I'm thinking, you know what? I decided to let it go and get these instead. So sometimes you just have to make informed decisions. Sometimes you have to take a chance, but when you don't have enough information, then sometimes it's best to pass. Anyway, guys, I am back. I will be back once I have these guys ready to list. And if you guys are interested in these, let me know. I do have a few items left in my store now. I have a Vollrath number 8. It's quite a collector piece. I have a number 5 Griswold. I have a Lodge Dutch, I think it's a Lodge Dutch oven. It's a real nice one though. It sits flat, I believe. And I have a Good Cooker Griswold number 7, but it's pitted, heavily pitted on the back. So it's been on eBay for quite a while. People just don't like it because it's pitted on the back. So it was a chance I took on an auction, and I kind of made a mistake on that one, but I think it'll still be a fine cooker for somebody. All right, guys, I've talked long enough. Glad to be back. Please leave a comment or question below. Give me a thumb up, and go make it a great day.